Hello, class, and welcome back to Week 6 of Runeterra Academy Season 2 Junior Division. I am Tiger. Here with me today, at least to begin with, we've got Wookie on color. He's normally the producer, but stepping
Hey,
up today.
yeah, it's exciting to be here. Have not casted for this league before, but they're already in the banning phase, so I guess we'll get straight to it. Sorry for the delay, but yeah, I'm excited to cast with you, Tiger.
Today we got Zenigma Reapers and MyTourni Collective. This is a battle near the playoff bubble. We got Zenigma is at 2-3, MyTourni Collective at 1-4. A win here, I think, for Zenigma secures playoffs, and for MyTourni Collective, if they get the win, then they'll have a much better shot than if they lose. I think they need like a lot of circumstances to go right for them if they lose today to be able to make playoffs next week.
Yeah, so a lot at stake here, so we'll have to kind of see how these teams interact. And yeah, they're starting off with Tristana for Zenigma already. I think that's a beautiful first pick. Can be flexed mid and bot. What do you think that these players might be trying to go for today, looking at their rosters?
Well, I think both of these teams are playing a similar style to what we've seen a lot of throughout most of the teams, which is that they oftentimes, as we're seeing here, go for pretty strong early game bot lanes with aggressive engaged supports, which obviously Leona and Rel are two of the best engaged supports. So that should be a fun bot lane to watch. But then going to mid lane, it can be kind of a mixed bag in the mid lane. Echo could be the mid lane, could also be flex jungle. And then we usually see a lot of bruisers in jungle and top lane, maybe some tanks top as well. So a lot of team fight comps that we see, and that definitely holds true to these two teams as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, it's been bruiser jungle meta for like ever now, and I'm almost so sick of seeing the Jarvans, the Zinzaos, the just the Gore Drinker champions. And I do think that Gore Drinker is getting changed in the next patch, so it'll be a little bit different from there on out. But I'm excited to see these teams already are looking so team fight oriented. It's crazy.
Yeah, and if this is the Echo versus Galio mid lane matchup, I do like the Galio counter pick for MyTourni Collective. I think Galio's really good into Echo. I mean, the global presence of the Galio, and then being able to win the 1v1 as well. But with that said, I need to double check if there's any Echo play for the jungler on Zenigma Reapers. Zmi uh, but I think that would be a good flex potentially.
Yeah, could be a good flex. I haven't seen a lot of Echo Jungle recently, only because he gets kind of outshined by, like I was talking about earlier, the jungle bruisers, because they have so much early pressure. Jarvan can invade an Echo at any time and output a lot of damage. So definitely would have to be careful if it is going to be Echo Jungle. They haven't picked the jungle on the other side yet. It might be picked here at R4, so we'll have to see what kind of picks they can come up with and who they leave the counter pick for.
Yeah, I checked my notes, and Zilumi did actually play Echo last week. Ooh, Viego jungle, that's going to be a very carry-heavy thing for MyTourni Collective. And I think that the team comp is actually well built for Viego, so you love to see it. Ooh, Tryndamere. This is kind of a pick that if they lock in the Tryndamere has been popular in pro play as like a mid laner. Like there's been a lot of like Tryndamere, Aurelia, a lot of these AD melee champs in the mid lane. And yes, the Tryndamere could be locked in, so interesting pick up there for Zenigma Reapers.
Yeah, it's definitely something to try out at least, and I mean, if they've been practicing that, then we'll have to see, as it is going to be the double AD solar laners for the side of Zenigma, and more than likely Echo Jungle. I mean, it could still be Tryndamere Jungle, but like you said, it could definitely be mid as well, into the Galio, nonetheless. So I'm excited to see how that matchup goes, as counterpick about to be picked here. Definitely would want something to at least be able to withstand Aatrox. I mean, another Gore Drinker person, and there's Kennen for the range advantage on the Aatrox. So definitely looking forward to this draft here, or this game here, as the draft is now finished. What do you think so far? Like, do you have an edge already on one of these teams?
I think Zenigma's comp here is really hard to kill, but they don't really have a lot of CC, so I think that my initial reaction is that MyTourni Collective has a very straightforward comp, and I often think that in competitive situations where it's like mid-level to maybe getting closer to the upper levels of competitive, it's still important to get easy to understand team comps. And then when you've got Kennen, Galio, Leona, Misfortune, all of those are really easy to execute on. And then Viego, in my opinion, just as a champion in general, is pretty powerful. And there's never a time, in my opinion, where Viego will be like a bad pick. Like maybe Viego's not as broken as he was at some points, but he can just still just like take people over, and then he's as fed as the most fed member of the enemy team. So what can you really do against that?
Exactly. And I mean, like, even if he's behind, it, like you said, it's just like you take one of the best champions that they have and you pretty much win the fight from there on out. But that does depend, kind of, they did nerf Viego a lot the past few months or so, and so he's not as strong, but he's definitely someone who can be reliable during the later stages of the game if he gets one of their champions. And I mean, there is a Tryndamere on the other team, so I definitely feel like he has some viable pick potential if he can get a hold of one of those champions.
Yeah, with that said, I do think that the Tryndamere is going to mean a lot. We'll have to see how well Tango plays it out, but being able to go unkillable will be having a lot of meaning going into some of the mid-game skirmishes, especially if you can get in a 2v2 or a 3v3 and get both of the players low, or all of the people in the fight low, then Tryndamere can just carry that really easily. And once you got level 6, that should be a situation where Tango also can try some roaming. I still think that Epic Thing on the Galio should be able to roam more, but Trindamir's not too bad at getting out of lane, so I think that there's a lot of opportunity here for Zenigma Reapers. But if it's just a study game throughout the beginning to end, then I expect that it's going to be a pretty good look from MyTourni Collective.
Yeah, I do think MyTourni kind of has the edge when it comes to these team fights. I mean, Misfortune, very powerful right now, very meta. Builds the Youmuu's Ghostblade first and just deals so much damage early on with that lethality build, which is fair into the other team. I mean, they only have one true tanky person, which is Rel. So it makes sense. Misfortune and Leona and Galio, very, very powerful team fight. So I definitely think that Zenigma would have to look for picks more than the other team. But we'll just have to see how they pan out. And, this is going to be a banger, I think, for the first game. All these picks are very interesting and very kind of cohesive.
All right, well, with all of that said, we're getting into the spectator delay, so we're going to take a short break, and on the other side, we'll have game number 1 of Zenigma Reapers against MyTourni Collective. Welcome back, everyone. We're on to the Rift. On the blue side, we got Zenigma Reapers. On the red side, we got MyTourni Collective. And on the caster desk, we've got Gigatron joining us now for game number 1.
Yes, I mean, I'm glad I made it in time just for this, and it's looks like it's pretty exciting. I mean, look at these champs. You got pretty much a really good engage comp coming out of red side because I don't know which team is on which, and then blue side. It's something. I'll say that it's interesting.
Yeah, we got the world's meta Tryndamere mid going on.
Oh
Zenigma
no.
Reapers, we got blue side, and red side, we got MyTourni Collective for reference. So there you go. And I wanted to mention before we get into the fighting that the bot lane for MyTourni Collective has not elected to take heal. It's exhaust ignite, so we'll see if they can get some kills with that or if they end up getting punished. I expect to see a lot of bot side focus out of these junglers, although they should be farming it up pretty heavily until level 6, I would expect.
Yeah, I kind of figure most people just kind of want to farm, see what they can to get themselves that little bit more ahead, and then from there, once they hit 6, they're just gonna go all in.
Yeah, absolutely. You got any thoughts about which of these sides might be going for some early objectives, Gigatron?
I think if you have bot lane from MTC hit 2, then they go in on the enemy bot lane, see if they can take someone out, and then from there create that extra pressure that is just super annoying. Look at the double up too, like
Yeah, they got
goodness,
some
free
good poke,
damage.
but actually level 2 coming through first for Zenigma Reaper's bot lane. So maybe they're going to be able to hold the prio here.
All right, and maybe they will, and if they hold it in that case, then I could see potentially Echo coming down and taking that Drake. Potentially, you might even see a scuttle fight. No, we won't see a scuttle fight because they started opposite sides. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely see it being going to at this point, I'm assuming Echo's gonna pick up the dragon, so Zenigma's gonna get it.
All right. It looks like we may have a roam coming out from Dev from the top lane. Early roam coming out on the cannon, trying to engage Epic Fang. Going to come up a bit short with the taunt. And that's going to do it for that sort of scuttlebutt.
Yeah, it's not like they saw him from a ward, but it was also more the fact of like you could tell Galio's just playing really aggressive, moving it forward. So you know something's going on, kind of a thing. He's gonna charge it and try to taunt you. So it's just better just to spin out than to take the risk.
Yeah, for sure. Not wanting to give over anything early. Especially when Tango's already built up more than 10 CS advantage. Dev actually paying pretty heavily. We got a little bit of an engage in the bot side though. Good stuff coming out from Christoon. And here comes Curvex on the roam. Flash forward from Christoon. Flash follow from Henry. Going to try to get under tower. Heal going to keep him alive for the moment. Flash from Blind Gwen main. Going to be the dive coming out from Curvex though. Going to be chased down by Henry. But flash forward from Troll. Going to be able to finish off the kill. And that's 2 going over to MyTourni Collective in the bot lane.
Yeah, MyTourni Collective just playing it smart. They had their jungler come in from the tribe rush, be able to do some quick plays, quick damage going on. They got the good stun that locked up Tristana there in that case, and then or was it Rel? Right, it was Rel, wasn't it? It was Rel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they locked up Rel pretty well,
Yeah.
and then they had the exhaust on a Tristana, which means then she really couldn't get away even if she had jump. It's not even really worth it because Viego's just gonna follow up. So, oh no.
Blue Eagle getting pretty aggressive in the top lane. Actually, I expected that this would be a favorable matchup for Dev since it's range versus melee, but ever since the roam to the mid lane, Blue Eagle was able to control the wave and get a really decent CS advantage here. 14 right now is the lead. and the health advantage right now as well going over to Blue Eagle. So we'll see if he can continue this throughout the mid game. Already level 5 on the Aatrox, getting pretty close to having that ultimate available. Epic Fang may be in trouble here. Is Zenigma going to be able to walk forward? But good taunt coming out will buy the space Epic Fang needs to get out.
Yeah, I mean, and they create that space, which means, hey, if they can get out, they don't have to worry about anything. And now we're going to see finally shifting back. Yeah. So, what do you think really is a good counter to this MF Leona? Because I see this a lot. It's really strong. Do you think that the Tristana and the Rel could do that, or
Ooh, Zelami gonna be in trouble here right quick. I'm gonna fall first before I can answer your question. 2 Troll 5 me picking up the kill. Dev could be in trouble, but Blue Eagle not gonna full out engage just yet. Flash is available for both top laners, but now we got Kerbex onto the dragon. Let me see if I can go back around to your question now. You were asking about the MF Leona lane, right?
Nope, you can't go back to it. Oh, never mind.
Good flash from Dev. But yeah, flashless top lane. But all right, so MF Leona, I think that Tristana Rel is a lane that can kind of go even with it because Tristana has the rocket jump to get some semblance of safety. I would have liked to see a cleanse as well. I think anyone who's going up against the Leona, if you're a marksman, you want to have the cleanse available. But Tristana should have some semblance of safety, and Rel has the engage potential to help out the team throughout the mid game. So I definitely think that it's a solid matchup. Although MF Leona is just really strong right now, so I think that that will be a lane that does well in team fights as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could do well. I guess the question would have just been like, okay, like, do you put Triss with like Alistair or Nautilus or something like that? But yeah, I mean, it's really kind of hard to go in Leona in general. Oh,
Uzilimi might be caught. Has the Chrono Break available now. Going to be dropped pretty low here by Kerbex. Meanwhile, bot lane, we got an engage going on. Dev going to try to find the kills, but 2 Troll 5 you already going to fall. 1 for 1 so far. Henry falls as well. We've got fights all over the map. Tango taking a kill as well. Blind Gwen main will fall. It's 2 for 2 across the map as multiple fights breaking out here in the mid game.
yeah, and it's just showing kind of like the macro of Zenigma right now, where
Ooh,
they're
epic
trying.
Tango. Taunt comes through. Justice Punch not going to be enough CC. Zelumi's here as well. Gonna finish off the kill.
Yeah, and this is kind of why with Zenigma's team, I kind of thought it was a little weird, but then I realized I'm like, wait a second, they're a dive comp. Like, they could literally just go in. You have Tristana jump. You have Tremere who could go in with a spin. You have Zelumi who can pretty much just dive in with the Chrono Shield, and then now it's like, okay, yeah, like, what do you do about it? Like, because you have Aatrox too on top of that, like. Heaven forbid Aatrox comes and tries to tower dive someone. Um, it's just showing that that they're definitely playing their comp well, and they're again macroing where they're rotating well.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if we start seeing some stopwatches coming through for MyTourni Collective here. Once first items are complete, I don't think that you index into it too early. But definitely the carries may be looking to have that, and for sure on Kennen you're going to go for Azonius anyways. Kerbex maybe in a 1v2 here. It's going to be the roams coming through. Kerbex over the wall, going to try to survive for a little bit longer. Blind Gwen main going to get taunted up, going to be punched down, and the solar flare comes down. The bullet time is good. Epic Fang picking up the kill onto Henry Rocks. Tango could be in trouble here as well. Going to try to get to the wall. Going to have the Undying Rage available. Going to be able to hold on to it. The stun comes through from Zelami as well, finishing off Kerbex and chrono shifting right out. It's a 1 for 1. Ooh, Dev gonna try to pick up the kill as well under Blue Eagle, trying to roam away with the World Ender, but a little bit scary. Dev gonna have to back off because the healing's good. Flash forward from Blue Eagle, gonna try to finish off the solo kill, and he's gonna be able to as well. The Iron Spike Whip and the clean Q finishing it off. Solo kill for Blue Eagle in the top lane.
Yeah, and sorry, I guess my mic get muted somehow. Um, it was a good 1v1 that they had there on both sides. I mean, you're looking at that, especially with the Aatrox. Aatrox was able to go out and get his multiple stacks of his Q off. So that means that he's going to get out a lot more damage. He's going to be putting more pressure. And now Kennen kind of has to, respect him that little bit more now because of the fact that, hey, I can't always win these trades. And it's not like my ultimate's always up. So, a little unfortunate there.
We're gonna have to ask the teams what they have against color commentators because right now there's 11 kills as we about to get to the 11-minute mark, and these teams just keep finding places where they try to fight. And so far, we've seen some pretty good action, both ways going pretty well. But the gold lead pretty big in favor of Zenigma Reapers. They've got about 2,500 gold so far in advantage. The one Drake has gone over to MyTourni Collective, so it's still pretty close game. But ooh, could be trouble here as the engage coming on to Chris Toon. Good stuff from Blind Gwen, man. Gonna be Zenigma picking up the kill. 2 Troll 5 you in trouble as well. Tango's got the Undying Race. Flash isn't gonna get you out of that one. It's a double kill in the bot lane as the Drake spawns.
And this is showing that, hey, they had a really good rotation. They take the dive in the bot lane there. They take out 2 in the process there, and they're able to take the Drake. So now it's 1-1 for Drakes. You're giving yourself that little bit more gold in your pockets. Oh no,
Is Dev in trouble again? You're gonna just
maybe.
be taking a trade for half of his health and nothing you can do. But the roam coming down. Epic Fang and Kerbex are here. They're gonna try to turn this one around. Blue Eagle's not afraid though. He's popped the World Ender and started going forward instead of backwards. Zenigma going to follow up as well, and that's going to chase away any threat coming through as the bot turret falls.
Yeah, bot turret's gonna fall here. You do have Trinamir is pushing ahead, so Tango doing what he needs to do to split push. They peeled him off of Rift Herald here, which is great. And then now it's like, okay, Rift just goes to Zenigma here. So great job on them to get both neutral objectives right now that we're up. And let's see how they could use that Rift Herald. Where do you expect them to put it? Do you think they're going to put it like top or mid?
I think you put it mid, but I want to take a moment to ask Wookie to switch us over to the gold for each player because right now we've got Tango with over double the gold of Epic Fang. Has about a 3,500 gold lead just on his own. It's almost 5,000 for the team, and it's gonna get even bigger because this top turret is about to fall. All plates going down, bot and top, and it's going to be even potentially a dive coming through as Zenigma is starting to exercise a degree of control over this game. Zenigma looking to go forward, not going to quite find anyone to attack just yet, and only one charge for the Herald, but the gold lead ballooning to 5,500 gold.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Trinamir is that far ahead. But you have to look at it's Galio. Galio's more like that. It's that portive tank mid that is basically there to kind of do damage, but it's also more so for the utility of the heroic entrance. So the fact that he's down that much, yeah.
Kerbeck's in trouble here. It's going to be a heroic entrance coming in. Flash over the wall from Tango is going to finish off the kill. Killing spree for him. Henry Rocked is here as well. Epic Fang going to have to flash out on the back end because he's tried for the heroic entrance, but he needs to make an exit.
Yeah, it's just a little unfortunate there. You had the great idea of using the heroic entrance, but you weren't able to really capitalize with it. You had Tango go over and flash, and now it's like, okay, now I kind of wish I didn't come, like, kind of a thing. So it's just a little unfortunate for Epic Fang in that case, because then you still have to burn your own flash, so it's gonna be down for a little while now. But hopefully in his next fight, that's the big fight coming up soon, I'm sure, for Drake. I don't know when Drake's coming up.
And Drake coming up in about 2 minutes here. Should be in a situation where we're going to have I think that it's just gonna go over to Zenigma, to be honest with you. I don't think that there's going to be much of a fight here. It's Mountain Soul, and each side only has one Drake so far, so I don't think it's too much to ask to give that one over. And maybe just try to go for a play on the top lane tower or get some vision over the Baron region, which, I mean, we're only 15 and a half minutes into the game, but it already feels like we're getting into the mid game solidly. We're going to have a fight breaking out here. Blue Eagle going to have to get out of the solar flare. Meanwhile, deep engage from Blind Gwen made. It's going to be 2 kills so far, 3 for Zenigma Reapers, but the turret's starting to do some pretty solid work, and Dev is here with the Slicing Maelstrom, going to be able to pick up a double kill for himself. Tango with the Undying Rage under the tower, going to be able to finish off the ace for Zenigma Reapers, 5 for 3.
Yeah, this is just kind of crazy to think about that Zilumi was able to still do a lot there. They took out 4 basically in that process, and then only had to sacrifice 2 of themselves. I think that's pretty good, especially for the fact that it was just kind of a crazy fight. You did take the mid turret there, and then just kind of just went balls to the wall into them. And once you kind of have that happening, it's kind of more, well, now how do we do team fights? Because again, it's a very go in all heavy dive comp, and even if you try to run a 1-3-1 or do the team fight in that case, play them more of that team fight comp, which they kind of have with the Viego and everything like that. Uh, they just aren't really able to capitalize on much because you have Aatrox who could knock up people. You also have Rel who's kind of going in and everything like that. And because of those, I think that's kind of a chaotic problem that I don't think they really have a good answer other than Leona, maybe for in that case, or the Slicing Maelstrom coming out from Kennen.
Yeah, I mean, Dev looked pretty solid in that fight. That Slicing Maelstrom pretty much connected with every member that was still in the fight. Ooh, Gwen Main gonna go for the dive here. Epic Fang gonna be alright, though.
Yeah, he's gonna be all right though, definitely. We are gonna see that the second inner turret, well, the inner turret here for bot side's gonna go down. Gonna be pushing mid. Oh,
Herbeck's going to try to Heartbreaker his way out of this one, but it's going to be CC chains coming down. The Chrono breakaway is going to be good. Henry Rock's going to be in trouble. The turret shot finishes off the kill. 2-5, you're going to still fall to Tango. Tango going to be under the tower. Still has the Undying Rage available, but hasn't popped it yet. Going to be backing off potentially here. It's a 2-for-1, I believe, in favor of Zenigma Reapers as they continue to siege out the mid lane.
yeah, and I think that's what they need to do is try to siege out this mid, see if they can get that turret down. Try to take away camps like they're doing right now, and see if they can clear some vision because there is a couple pinks, a couple wards that they need to get through. Once they get through that, I think that will help them create more of that pressure. Okay, you're just gonna.
Dev going to be in trouble here. Tango going to walk it up. Going to be forced to use the Undying Rage here. Good Slicing Maelstrom. Here comes the hero's entrance as well. Good stopwatch coming out. Tango going to be forced to run away. Bullet time over the top. 2-5 views picked up the first kill of the fight. It's going to have to be an escape for the rest of the members of Zenigma Reapers as it's going to be a pick going over to MyTourni Collective.
Yeah, MyTourni Collective is just. This is interesting kind of a thing. Again, because of the fact that you do get the pick up here, this pick helps them put themselves a little bit better back in. Oh. And they steal away the blue buff. Rude, but needed.
You got to get all the resources you can right now if you're MyTourni Collective. They're sticking around about 8,000 gold behind. But we'll see if they're going to be able to continue to find fights like that because right now Dev able to use all of the resources effectively, but that was the one time you get to use the stopwatch until he has his Zonia is complete. That's not going to be available again, and it was a good hero's entrance. It was a good rest of the team following up. Bullet time comes through, and that was the fight that they needed. But can they get another fight like that? Tengo gonna try to find the 1v1 picks, not having the Undying Rage just yet, but he doesn't need it. He goes dominating, a crit lands, and that's all you need to take out the Kennen.
Yeah, and true. I mean, when it's basically someone that can just crit very hard, just take out any player at any point. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but it's especially crucial because of the fact that Kennen is one of the team fight members that has to go in with that slicing maelstrom. If he doesn't have that, being able to be used, and heaven forbid that Zenigma tries to take a fight, against him. Now MTC is just going to be wondering, what do we do? And everything like right now. Ooh.
Yeah, we got the 2v2 teleport coming in. Solar Flare going to be too deep, not going to be able to connect. Blind Gwenmain still going to be in trouble here. Teleport coming in the other side. It's 3 teleports. Magnet Storm going to go down under 2 Troll 5U, but the kill goes in favor of MyTourni Collective. It's 2 so far. Bullet time coming as well. Blue Eagle could be in trouble. Going to try to go for the re-engage. Finishes off Dev, but it's going to be a 3rd kill going down as the shutdown goes over. 2-2 Troll 5 use 3 for 1, but Tango meanwhile working away at the base, going to be able to clear out the wave and the inhib. That means that will be a point of pressure here for the next 5 minutes for Zenigma Reapers.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like Zenigma unfortunately didn't take necessarily the best fight there. They definitely got engaged on. They got actually everything going for MyTourni Collective, and hey, if they can pretty much capitalize on just trying to create more of that pressure, get more of those kills. Like you look at it now, I mean, there's only it's still a 10k difference, unfortunately, at gold, but they're getting closer with kills. If they could get anything, I feel like they need to get some turrets right now, and maybe take the second Drake that's gonna be coming up for themselves. But
yeah, with so much standing gold on the map, it's going to be a requirement that they take some of that down. If they could steal away this Baron, that would be huge. I don't know how they're going to be able to get into the pit. Kerbeck's not here just yet. Going to try to get out from base. Should be here in time, actually. I don't know if this is going to be a good full commit. Actually, I like the choice to disengage this one from Zenigma Reapers. They can just head on over towards this Drake. A lot safer to take. And they have the position as well, so they shouldn't have a problem actually just straight up taking it off the map. I think that's what they're going to be able to do.
Yeah, if they're going to be able to do it, that's going to be the main thing right now is, okay, they get the 3rd Drake now on this Enigma. It is the Mountain Soul that will be at Soul Point right now. So if you look at that, Mountain Soul on them is actually terrifying because now you just give Tango a big shield. You give Zilumi a big shield on top of his own shield he's going to get. And then you also give the monstrosity Aatrox.
Yeah, pretty bold to be doing this Baron on a control ward. There's a control ward in the pit, so this is full vision. Bullet time going to come over the top. This could be trouble. Slicing Maelstrom going to come through. Devs found them all. It's going to be first kill going over to MyTourni Collective. Chris Toon going to pick that one up. A second as 2 Troll 5. You're going to be able to get one as well. Meanwhile, the base going to be searched for by Tango. Going to look for the kill on the Epic Fang. Now it's going to be 1 more kill. 2 more kills should be coming down here for the side of MyTourni Collective, but is it going to be enough? They need to get back to their base. Tango going to be 1v1 with Chris Toon, going to try to finish off the last tower, maybe going to try to finish off the base as well, not going to have the Undying Rage up just yet. Shutdown comes through for True Troll 5U, and the base is held just barely by MyTourni Collective.
Yeah, unfortunately, the great thing that actually happened there is Enigma getting the 2 Nexus turrets due to the fact that, hey, you have a split push Tryndamere. Let's just throw 4 at Baron. If we get the Baron, great. If we don't get the Baron, kill off as much as possible, stall as much as possible, because someone has to deal with Tryndamere. And then when they send the Galio there, instead of putting the Galio in the team fight, now you have someone who really can't keep up with him. Now he's getting a lot of that damage out, and unfortunately it takes 2. You have to do Leona and MF to try to just take out Tango there. I mean, I'd love to see it be different, but it's not gonna be.
Yeah, and right back to Baron as well. So the strategy is going to be maintained here by Zenigma Reapers. And to be honest, I think MyTourni Collective did well for themselves in the last fight to be able to pick up those kills and then be able to keep their base from going down completely just yet. But right now, this is all Zenigma Reapers. They have control over the game. It's up to them to throw if the game's going to go anyway, other than them just either picking up this Baron or ending the game right now. And that's what it looks like it will be the case because Tango is back on the split push. The Baron being focused up here. Dev going to try to sniff it out, maybe get an engage for himself. Herbeck's over the wall, has the control ward down, going to try to steal it, but it's going to be picked up by Zilumi. It's Zenigma Reapers with the Baron buff, and they've found the first kill of the fight, 1-for-1 so far. Solar Flare going to be good, landing onto 2, but Henry Rock's able to pick up another kill. Tango, importantly, has finished off Epic Fang and is headed for the Nexus. They've just got to stop the backs, and it's only 2 members left on the map. This is going to be game 1 going over to Zenigma Reapers.
Yeah, game 1 played very well. Again, they had a really good dive comp that also goes into a split push comp that they executed perfectly into this very good team fight comp that was coming out from um, MTC here. And now that MTC didn't play it well or anything like that, I think it's just they weren't able to for the fact that, again, you have the Rel who pretty much just goes in and stops MF right away. There was no real way to get rid of her because Leona is just always going to be going in onto whoever she needs to. And if there's no follow up to protect the MF, this is what we're going to keep dealing with, which is the case. We sent 3 divers after her. She dead. So
Yeah, when you're able to get the early lead on the dive comp, then you can really stop the other team from playing the game. That's exactly what we saw right there. There was just no way. I mean, even if you look at the damage chart, we've got so much of the percentage of damage was still going to be 2 troll 5 you, but it just didn't matter. Like having that much more damage than everyone else and still losing the game feels really bad, but that's just good team play coming out from Zenigma Reapers because with all the pressure Tango had on the map, I'd like to take a look at the graph of damage dealt to objectives or to turrets specifically. And then we can see that it was all Tango having more than triple the next closest person. So that was really what decided the game, and I think that very well executed from Zenigma Reapers.
yeah, it was definitely well executed with that and that in that standpoint. But let's see how they take this game too, because honestly, I mean, I would say they're 2-3 right now in the league. MyTourni Collect was 1-4. You know, you'd think maybe Zigba has a little bit of the edge, but I'm curious to see how MyTourni reacts to this game 2 and see how they prepare themselves for this game 2. Um, I should say react from game 1 so they can prepare for game 2. So, uh, well, we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll head into break, and on the other side, we'll have draft for game number 2 between Zenigma Reapers and MyTourni Collective. Welcome back. We're about to get into draft for game number 2, but Gigatron, we saw a rough go of it for MyTourni Collective. What do you want to see change if they want to have a chance here in game number 2?
I think the big thing is either taking out the Tryndamere, who was really good just because of the split push aspect, or try to if you're gonna let him have that, then pick something that works into that little bit more. Just because of the fact that the Galio is a good idea, but the Galio I just feel like is just a better support than even a mid these days, just because Galio, unless he gets a really good matchup, isn't able to farm as efficiently. So definitely
Yeah,
interesting to see. But we do have draft starting.
we
Oh,
even have seen Rhodey with Potato play the Galio before. But getting into the bans, we've got the Tryndamere that you asked for already banned away. We got some junglers coming off the table. And the Misfortune actually going to be pinched out as well.
yeah, the MF, even though it didn't, go the way that we were thinking it was going to go, it still put out a lot of damage. And if you aren't going to bring a full, not necessarily full dive comp, but a good dive comp to try to go in on her and everything, then yeah, you might as well just ban it out. But
yeah, the Viego ban too. So some respect coming out after game 1 from Zenigma Reapers. They want to force MyTourni Collective onto some different picks, maybe that they weren't prepared to switch up. So we'll see how that affects the draft. I think that hopefully MyTourni Collective was prepared for those bans to potentially be on the table in game 2 or 3, but could be difficult to respond now. With the Nautilus, it looks like being the first pick.
it always is always a good one to kind of start with because it shows that you're going a little bit more for engage. You have the hook, you have your shields, and the damage that comes with it. You also have the Riptide and Depth Charge, which means then sets up for a wombo combo. And wait,
Yeah,
not support still? Morg mid? Morg jungle?
yeah, it could be Morgana jungler mid here. I do like the Zaya Rakan combo, although I think that picking Rakan into Nautilus is a little bit of self counter pick. So we'll see how that ends up working out. I think that it still should be good into the mid game. Once you get the ult, you're still going to be effective as a Rakan. But it's going to be important for Rhodey with Potato to mark blind Gwen main and make sure to lock him down as soon as the ult starts being channeled up. I think that the Xin Zhao pick here in the jungle makes a lot of sense. Going to have some early ganking power and saving the solo lanes for the last pick. So we'll see what Zenigma has for us here going into 4-5.
Yeah, 4-5 could be pretty much anything at this point. You do have the lovers duo. You have the Zen, who is still really strong right now, even though he's faced a couple nerfs throughout the patches and everything like that. So the fact that I'm surprised we haven't seen like a Hakram or a Udyr or any of those, just because they did get those little nice patches recently that kind of bring them back to almost like beginning of season 1 aspect.
Yeah, we
Oh,
could see
go ahead.
some variety here. I am hoping that we're going to see some more aggressive picks for MTC, especially in the mid lane. So maybe it's going to be Morgana jungle. I feel like Morgana jungle is something that I've seen more recently than Morgana mid. Could be flexed either way, I think. But if it is the Morgana jungle, then I'd like to see a mid laner that can actually fight uh, into the early game against anything really. So maybe more of an assassin type. Although I'm not sure exactly what the champion pool is going to be here, as we saw the Galio last game from Epic Fang. I think Epic Fang is an E sub, so maybe that's some of the dynamic that's being difficult for MyTourni Collective, is that they have an emergency sub in right now, and that's making it so that they don't have all of their normal people, obviously.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then basically you don't have your normal people. Synergy might be a little different. You also have a different champ pool that you can work with. Even if you own all champions, the problem is like there's so many champions that I haven't even touched in a long time. That it's kind of the same with this. Like if you don't know what's gonna be kind of going, but actually we do. We get a Graves and a Nico. Okay, Nico top. Graves
Could be.
mid.
It's very
Or opposite.
difficult to say. I'd say it's most likely Graves jungle because you got double AP. You want to kind of have the solo laners pick the same damage type and then have the jungler on the opposite if you're going to have a damage jungler. But I'm not sure that this is the comp that MTC needed to pick up here in order to look different than they did last game. I don't know how much early prior they have. The bot lane should be in a good spot, but then again, they were on Misfortune Leona last game and weren't able to convert on that. I still think that Caitlyn Nautilus is going to have the advantage here, but it has to be execution coming through, and I think that if MTC is going to win, it's going to come off the back of 2 Troll 5U.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing of like, you gotta hope that they can just lock down, which they can. I mean, it's a really good comp, but just be able to kind of just tighten up that a little bit more on some of the stuffs that they didn't do in the first game. I hope that they can clean up for the second game here, because if they could do that, and then they go to their game three, they can figure out, hey, you know what, do we want to stick around, or they'll know if they're kind of sticking around, so that way they do a game 3 or not, based on this comp. But I look at, you have kind of scary because it's an Urgot top.
Yeah,
Urgot.
Wait, is it Nautilus top?
We have a not top. Oh boy, let's go.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's an interesting change of picks here coming out. Not what I was expecting, but nevertheless, I guess that could be the case. Wait, so there's a difference between who is playing in game number 1 and game number 2. I'm just figuring this out now, but I think Chris Toon was the support for game number 1, and Dev was the top laner for MyTourni Collective. But right now, Chris Toon is in the top lane slot, and Rhodey with Potato is in the support slot. So it could be Chris Toon playing top with a champion that he's more familiar with from support, so that Rhodey with Potato can play the support position. That would make a lot of sense.
See, that makes sense. I think another good one that's a support would be like the Bard. The Bard, very good at roaming, going for those meeps as much as possible, has great poke, and does a really good amount of damage. So I think that would have been cool too. But the Nautilus is still perfectly fine. I'd love to have an attack speed Nautilus. I know I'm never gonna get it, but I just love it how goofy he is when he tries to auto hit after 1 point something attack speed.
Yeah, you gotta be able to get the roots off on 5 people in 3 seconds.
Yeah, of course. I mean, come on. Why not? If you could do it, why not?
Exactly. But I wanted to loop back around to the roster thing because I didn't clarify the situation before. So the situation is that Joe Supreme is normally the top laner for MyTourni Collective, has been all split, and then he's not here right now, so they are having in the mid lane, they have Epic Fang, who is their emergency sub, and the first game they had Dev play top, Chris Toon play support, and then Rhodey was sitting. And so they've switched it up to having Chris Toon, who's normally their sub, I believe, play the top lane, and Rhodey with Potato, who's normally their support, play support.
Yeah, I think the switch up is good in that case, because then it shows that one, you have a versatile player, and two, the fact that one's a little bit better at the support compared to necessarily the other, or fits better for the comp. So, like for example, there's a lot of players that are just enchantress like casters as support. There's a lot of people that are just to the tank bruisers, as support, but don't do the other. So I think it might be just like, hey, they're like, you know what, let's throw in Oz in the mix. We're just gonna throw it top, and then we're going to still pick up Morgana and then flex the Morgana into either support or jungle. What you see is going to be support in this case. So,
Well, we're about to get into a short break here with the spectator delay, and we're going to, on the other side, have game number 2 of MyTourni Collective versus Zenigma Reapers.
Breaking through. Am I breaking through? Am I breaking through? Breaking through. Am I breaking through? Am I breaking through? Am I breaking through?
welcome back, everyone. We're into game number 2. On the blue side, we got MyTourni Collective, and on the red side, we've got Zenigma Reapers. Should be a good game here. We got an early group as well coming through from MyTourni Collective. Hopefully this disconnect doesn't last too long on us.
I don't think it will. I think it's just, what did they just say what it was? The Wi-Fi's acting up for the jungler. So if that's gonna be the case, EFF the game. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that we'll figure it out soon. Meanwhile, we can take a look at the champs and runes and all that good stuff. Summoner spells. This time around, it's no exhaust on the AD carry. We got the heal coming back for 2 troll 5 view, and I think that's there's tradition behind that for a reason.
Why do you say that?
Well, last game, it was 2 troll 5 view having the exhaust and ending up in a few positions where maybe you could have used the heal. Although 10-4 wasn't like a bad KDA coming out on that misfortune pick, but I think that having the heal maybe helps you survive just a little bit better in some of the situations. Oh, we're unpaused. All right, we're back in. Good stuff here. Invade coming out. See if we get an early deep ward, maybe from both sides here.
Uh, just make sure we're on the same page.
All
Yeah,
right, spectator bug over. That always happens when you get out of a pause in the game, so no surprises there. And as I said, we got the deep vision coming for both teams, so pretty standard stuff that we're seeing here, and should be some good information coming out. Now we'll see if Zilumi is going to stay here in this invaded position. Could find an early fight against Kerbex, although I don't know if we wanted to do that against a Nautilus Graves.
Yeah, fighting those two, I really don't think is ever gonna be fun. Just because of the fact that Nautilus can root. Like right now.
Zilumi could be in trouble here. Going to be forced to flash over the wall, so the greed is going to be punished immediately. Sticking around maybe to try to find a smite steal. I think that's dangerous. Yeah, the ward gets cleared out here, and he's going to have to leave. So a little bit of extra time invested there by Zilumi. So we'll see how far behind that puts him.
I don't think it's gonna put him that far behind, but we'll see. Good binding.
Yeah, with some early trading coming out here in the bot lane. We'll see how much of this sticks with the potions available. I think both of the sides should be able to heal up pretty decently. Honestly, I don't know how good taking Q first on Morgana is. My typical trend is to start W so that you can get the Spell Thieves procs. At least as far as I'm aware, that's the meta. But taking the Q, maybe a little bit more aggressive, going to try to find all ins. Obviously, level 2 now, so it doesn't matter. It's not like a huge game changing sort of thing, but it's a small thing there. So all of the little gold that you get from the Spell Thieves adds up for your gold quest. So I always think that that's the right thing to do. But obviously, Rody with Potato has a different opinion.
It definitely has a different opinion there, but um, oh, good trading from Tango there.
Fancy footwork. Rody with Potato on the roam, actually. Tango could be in trouble. That's an early binding, Chuck. Not going to be able to find anything. Chris Toon taking the wrong end of the trade, though, here in the top lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, you never want to get flipped over and then just take a bunch of auto attacks from Nautilus, or not Nautilus, Urgot there, just because of the fact that can put out such really good damage, and Tsunosis is a little more squishy early on. Oh, good hook, but
Doesn't
no
quite hit
turret.
him on the tower.
Yeah, no turret shots helping out. So little unfortunate there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a situation where you need to be careful here if you're the bot lane of Zenigma Reapers. It looks like a gank may be coming from Kerbex here. The back off is coming through. And Henry Rock's going to get hit with the binding. Could be some trouble here. Blind Gwenmain going to try to find the shields, but it's not going to be enough. First blood going over to 2 Troll 5U.
It is a really good first blood because you get it on an ADC. ADC is going to be able to potentially keep that lead, put more pressure onto the enemy bot side, and now that forces Zenigma to keep pulling down Zinzao in that case to try to help with the early lead that is getting onto to Troll SU.
Yeah, and with that, I think that the Caitlyn Morgana lane especially should be good for snowballing this sort of early advantage. I like the gank coming through from Kerbex. Even on a Graves, you still want to be impacting your lanes, and you don't really have that much opportunity. As I say that, we have the opportunity forming up in the top side, hook gonna land, binding not coming out yet. Now it is finishing off the kill. Rhodey picking it up as the roam comes through with a gank.
It's a really good gank that they did. Really good roam too. I mean, it's just showing that again, they're trying to rotate. They're trying to um, set up these different plays that makes them be at this rank that they are. I mean, look at this way. You have Earth or not Earth. Air Drake is going to most likely go over to Zenigma here in this case, and as Zenigma can utilize it early on, especially with the quickness, especially her jump that releases all the feathers, for Zaya there, which is the Feather Storm, who else would really be good then? For lower. Oh, of course. Your fear beyond death.
Yeah,
That
putting
becomes
people in the grinder. I love the grinder. This is one of my favorite parts of casting. Henry Rocks may be in trouble here. They're going to be able to find a good blade collar, finding the route onto 212-5U. Teleport going to come in. Flash from Chris Toon, but good counter flash. Blind Gwenmain going to interrupt and be able to escape. That means that Chris Toon going to teleport bot just for a couple of flashes.
yeah, I mean, you got a couple TPs, you got um flashes burnt. I mean, that's the main thing is like, okay, if flashes are burnt, now that means that next fight it's gonna be that little bit easier. Now that you have no sums pretty much other than Knight onto Blind Gwenmate, now that bot side has a little bit more of a rough lane. I mean, you would have had it anyways because of Caitlyn and Morgana, but uh, definitely rougher on top of that.
Yeah, and Blue Eagle already with the CS advantage of more than 40. Uh, Good early top lane performance here just to clear all the minions out and get the natural advantage that you're going to get through that. So that's kind of what's keeping the gold lead so close. It's just about 100 in favor of MyTourni Collective right now. Tango's still doing a good job here as well of getting some advantages over Epic Fang. Still going to be an invade coming through. Actually, is me going to be able to steal away the blue buff? But what about the fight on the back end? Chris Toon actually feeling a little bit sheepish here, not going to be engaging with that hook as much as trying to escape. And that means that it's a clean blue buff steal.
Yeah, that will be a blue steel going on there, and I think the other issue is you have these bindings go like wide, but that's fine. They can happen once in a while. Caitlyn's doing a lot of good trading. Oh my.
Yeah, and with ult available, that's going to potentially be a pretty deep fight. Henry Rock's going to be at about 300 HP here. Still has Blind Gwen main with him, so should be fine for the moment, but
Zilumi, meanwhile, looking for the dive in the top side, and it's going to be Fear Beyond Death available. Blue Eagle doesn't even need it. Crescent Guard on the way out. Zilumi could be in trouble. Drops turret aggro, but Blue Eagle not so lucky. Flash forward, going to finish off the second kill. Kerbex cleaning it up on the back end of the fight.
Yeah, and Kerbeck definitely Kerbeck's played it very well actually. He was able to take up two there, no problem. Just had to keep autoing as much as possible, and then started using his spell abilities when he was doing it on the second one. And because of that, I think that shows that hey, you can stall out that a little bit longer and still put out a lot of damage, whether you're using your abilities or not, especially with Graves. Graves is just kind of in a really good state of DPS. It's just annoyingly good DPS. So, but we'll see. We'll see how we have this Zhao respond back. Try to get some more kills and more assists.
Yeah, so far so good from MyTourni Collective. They're in a spot right now where if you've got a Nautilus support main as your top laner, and you're still having a gold advantage at 10 minutes, then you're probably doing pretty well. Chris Toon actually going to hold this wave for the moment, trying to freeze it up and just be able to CS under tower, maybe be able to get the gap closed a little bit. Tango actually trading pretty well here in the mid lane as well, so still good solo lanes coming out for Zenigma Reapers. Now we got a fight started out. Kristen Guard going to go down. Good flash from Tango going to be able to get out, but Kerbeck finishing off Zilumi. The Crescent Guard not doing enough work just yet. Blind Gwen main here as well. Could be in trouble if he gets hit by a binding, but good grand entrance going to dodge that out, and Henry Rock's going to try to shred the health bars. Epic Fang going to be dropped here as the first kill for Henry Rock. Still going forward. Blind Gwen main going to get hit by the collateral damage and finish off. Kerbeck's going to try to finish off Henry Rock here. Good Feather Storm going to keep him alive. That's another trade of kills coming in the bot side jungle.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too is like you unfortunately lose Nico there. You actually get a really good trade. Oh, that's a headshot.
Hit by the ace in the hole, finished off by 2 Troll 5 view. That's the risk you take when you trade when there's a Caitlyn on the map.
Right, and when you're on that side of the map, you don't know where Caitlyn is. Caitlyn could just use the ace in the hole there, make sure that she gets a nice crit with it, and yeah, unfortunately, just has to push out some people there. So, a little unfortunate, but now Gerbex does cure this Mountain Drake, which means we have an Infernal Soul.
Yeah, and Runeterra going to be started up here for Zenigma Reapers. They're going to try to be able to get some gold back somewhere on the map. They've got a deficit of about 1,500. Not going to be like an overwhelming deficit, but if it continues to get bigger, it could spiral out of hand. Blind Gwenman being chased down right now, going to be able to sidestep the thorns coming out. I don't remember what that ability is called. Nico Root.
The root, Nico's root is the Tangle Barbs.
I think Zyra's is Tangle Thorns. That's why I got confused. But whatever the case, Zilumi is in the topside jungle once again. Soul Shackles coming down from Rhodey with Potato. Stun comes down. Kerbex finishes off the kill. And once again, Zilumi caught in enemy territory.
And I think that's the big thing is like if you go into enemy territory, you always have to have wards. Just try to get those wards early on, but oh no.
Maybe in trouble here. It's going to be the depth charge. Chris Toon going to flash out of it, going to try to survive. Blue Eagle walking forward, but he's not going to have enough damage. Rhodey picking up another kill on the enemy top laner.
Yeah, just another kill on enemy top laner. But it shows that hey, they're trying to work together again. They're having they had 3 of them up there? Yeah. Oh. showing that people are roaming, people are trying to help create again that pressure. Oh
Ooh,
no.
here comes the engage. Blind One Main not going to be able to connect and immediately gets bursted down. And once you get hit by the Dark Binding, it's all over. Tango could be in trouble as well. Zilumi going to try to front line with the Crescent Guard. Going to try to heal up off the Raptors. Going to put down some decent damage coming through. Tango may be trying to follow up here. Zilumi going to pick up one. Picks up two. Chris Toon may be in trouble here as well. Zilumi finally going to fall. Kerbeck's going to flash forward, but Tango has the damage. Finishes him off, and Chris Toon falls as well. And it's 4 kills in their own jungle. Once again, teams falling victim to invading too deep.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing is like, okay, hey, they knew it was their own jungle. They try to prioritize a lot of different champions right away, and once they do that, then yeah, they're able to carry the kill, Xin Zhao, and now they're able to also pretty much take away this blue buff.
I think that we can officially say that Tango is fed again, 2-0-3 with a 50 CS lead, and already picking up that shutdown on Kerbex, who was 7-0 beforehand. That's pretty big gold advantage. Blue Eagle going to have to run away as once again 3-man top, flash out, depth charge coming down. Rody with Potato going to find the Soul Shackles. This will certainly be the stun. It's going to be the ace in the hole, going to be interrupted once again. Kerbeck's going to finish off the kill. Goes legendary. And perhaps I missed something, but I thought that he fell in one of the earlier fights.
Um, he might have, but just still has just put a lot since then. Um, but yeah,
Game's telling
Is
me
he-
he's legendary. My memory's telling me that he died to Tango in the last fight. So we'll see if that's just a spectator bug. Probably doesn't matter all that much. Still gold advantage. Somehow going to the team that's down by 6 kills. Zenigma Reapers with the small lead here. Even on the Drakes as well. So pretty decent situation, all things considered.
yeah, I would definitely agree with it. Um, here's one thing we can note about. Urgot does not have a mythic.
That is noteworthy. Titanic Hydra is the first item. I don't think is a bad idea. It's definitely helps with the split push. Blue Eagle maybe the split pusher of the game. Last game it was Tango on the Tryndamere, and the split pushing was big success. Now one turret already down, so Blue Eagle gonna try to find similar successes split pushing here in the top side. But we'll see if that ends up being such a heavy point of pressure on the map. Teleport going to come in. This could be the start of the fight. Blue Eagle going to be on the flank, but meanwhile the engage on the other side. Big grand entrance coming out from Blind Gwenmain and charming up everyone. Into the grinder we go. It's a big fight for Zenigma Reapers, and they're able to clean it up. And it's going to be 4-0, I believe, here as they are able to take all the kills off the map. They've got the Infernal Drake as well, and they can push it towards the mid lane.
Yeah, I would definitely say go towards mid lane. Just be able to what's the other thing? They're able to take the Drake very easily, and yeah, they just had a really good fight there. That if they didn't have the flank for the one side from the Urgot, I don't know how well that would have gone if they just had Urgot like just come down from top side.
Yeah, they kind of had a pincer, and they had all of MyTourni collective kind of bunched up in the middle, and then Blind Gwenmain just comes over the wall and CCs everyone. That's the pog moment that you get when you're a recon. You feel really good about that sort of situation, and then the rest of your team able to clean up all the kills. And now the gold lead is suddenly up to over 3,000 in favor of the Zenigma Reapers, despite the fact that they're still at a kill deficit.
Yeah, they're still at a kill deficit, but you have to look at objectives have been taken, and that's the name of the game.
Ooh. Here comes the Chaos Storm. Tango actually able to solo kill Epic Bang here in the bot lane. Rift Herald goes down as well. Kerbex was going to show up to try to assist the bot lane fight, but he showed up a little bit too late.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, a little too late. But now we have to look at, okay, gold is still being very much ahead for them and everything here on Zenigma. So you just have to hope that Zenigma plays it out the right way, because they do have the Rift Herald. They could possibly put it mid or bot in that case and just try to siege a turret for one of the inner ones. And then I feel really bad for this Nautilus because he's only at 66 CS.
Yeah,
When you
we,
hit the
we had a
one,
Flame Horizon in the mid lane last game. Could be Flame Horizon top lane this time around.
you know, I wasn't trying to think about that, but you know, now I am gonna think about that. Flame Horizon is definitely possible.
Yeah, only a few CS away. And with Titanic Hydra, it's really easy to continue shredding up those waves, picking up the CS. And Baron is going to be on the map here too shortly, so I think that we may see the next fight as the Baron. It could be started up pretty much on spawn potentially for the side of Zenigma Reapers. I don't know that they will. The Tango's feeling pretty good about split pushing the bot lane right now, presumably. They may be even collapsing on the bot lane. There's a lot of investment towards the top side, making sure that the Baron not being taken down. But that's going to leave open the tier 2 bot lane turret, and it's just going to be taken down by Zenigma.
Yeah, I mean, and this thing is okay. Now they're getting more turrets still, and MCC is not. I mean, that's the main, unfortunately, scary factor. Is why aren't they
Losing the
able
mid
to score?
once again, enemy jungle crescent guard. Where have I seen this one before? Shutdown goes over to Kerbex. Teleport coming in too late. Tango gonna put down some damage though. Major damage coming through. Could be trouble here. Rhodey going to fall. Tango going unstoppable, but big damage coming through with the pop blossom. Shutdowns go down. A triple for Tango though, and that looks like the fight going to be finished off in favor of Zenigma Reapers, as they're going to be able to push towards the mid lane once again. Oh,
Yeah, look
flash
at this.
forward coming down. Tango could be in trouble here, though. Ace in the hole going to miss Blue Eagle, but Blue Eagle going to try to turn the fight, finishes off Kerbex. Going to be hit by the Yordle snap trap, but going forward still. Going to be backing off now. 2-troll-5 flash over the wall from Blue Eagle and finishes off the double kill. Ace for Zenigma, and they're in position now. They've got big gold lead. And I don't think that they can take anything off the map at the moment, but with the Drake spawning soon, that could be the next focus.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is, okay, the next focus will be Drake, and you know, can they secure that? Because Drake is up in 10 seconds. Can either team secure it? Is it going to be, you know, we deny soul point for someone, or we are going to let soul point happen because they're prioritizing something else? But Runeterra does get popped in the mid lane there, so they do have to worry about that. And then this dragon is going to go over to Zenigma.
Yeah, I don't know if the Rift Herald can get the charge off. I'm trying to set up for it here, but good smite going to come down. Going to prevent any further engagement on the mid-tier 2. But the roams are coming towards the Baron pit. Zilumi going to be able to dodge out the binding. It does connect with Blind Gwen main, but it's not going to be too big of a damage coming down. And the Baron is started up here. Henry Rock's going to be knocked up by it, but can the engagement come through? Rhodey with Potato going to walk forward, finds the binding onto Henry Rock. Here comes the ace in the hole, going to be blocked up by Blind Gwen main. Zilumi going to try front line, but goes down already. Pop Blossom going to come through, finishing off the second kill of the fight. Looking pretty good for MyTourni Collective here. They're 3-for-0 so far. The Blade Caller comes through after the Featherstorm. Tango going to find the laser, picking up one kill on the back end of the fight, but that should do it. It's 3-for-1 in favor of MyTourni Collective.
Yeah, and it is in their favor. They're able to do a lot with it. And now they're trying to potentially take more, especially with this mid lane. So I think the big thing is now that mid lane has dropped its outer turret, how can they capitalize from it?
Yeah, a little bit greedy to start the Baron there for Zenigma Reapers, but they're only punished with it for the mid tier one this time around. If they keep making mistakes like that, though, that could be a way back into this game for MyTourni Collective.
That could be a way. Um, Now, just one thing that I will say that they're doing well is Enigma is definitely clearing out these wards. Anytime they see it, it's gone. So the fact that they have a sweeper too, the sweeper does help.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good. We've got our Flame Horizon in the top lane. Mid lane actually getting pretty close here as well. Tango not only about 25 CS away from finishing the Flame Horizon on Epic Fang for the second game in a row. So, good CSing once again coming out from the solo lanes of Zenigma Reapers. They're in position to maybe close this one out as a 2-0, but they've still got some work to do. Kerbex could be in trouble here. Chaos Storm going to come down, going to burn away the Black Shield, but I don't know if it's got enough damage to finish off. Meanwhile, the team is not in the area. It's Blue Eagle split pushing in the bot lane, and the split push strat has come for us one more time, as it's going to be Zenigma Reapers trying to crack open the base. Maybe a little bit respect being paid here from Blue Eagle. Doesn't know where the enemy team is. Christoon going to try to find the engage. It's a double depth charge landing, and Pop Blossom going to try to come through. Tango going to be shut down by Kerbex. The escape comes away from Blind Gwenmain, as it often does from a Rakan, but the Baron could be started up here potentially. We'll see if that's going to be the call. As the mid and bot lanes are both being pushed in, this could be dangerous of giving up the base, trying to get the Baron. Going to be taking about 3,000 HP. Flash from Zilimi going to try to steal this one away. It is going to be secured by Kerbex. Zilimi going to try to heal up, trying to turn this fight around, but he will pay his life. Meanwhile, the base going to be focused up. 2 turrets potentially down inside the base. Teleport going to come out. Maybe going to try to start the re-engage. Christoon not going to be in position though. So the base cracked, but Baron taken by MyTourni Collective. Ooh, Blind Gwenmain could be in trouble here. Christoon going to land the hook. Flash over the wall from Rhodey, but doesn't connect with the Dark Binding. Henry going to be able to get to the Blast Cone, and that is the disengage coming out from Zenigma Reapers.
And that's the thing is they're like, hey, you know what? Let's just try to focus on things down here in the jungle, and then they hear that someone's coming by. They try to do what they can with that, and yeah, it's just crazy to think that they have this Baron and that they're potentially going to be able to do something with it compared to having 3 Drakes and being like, it's 3 Drakes.
Yeah, well, the 3 Drakes may not be enough to get position here. Already it started up is MyTourni Collective trying to find the prio over the pit. But can they hold the line? Right now they're going to be flanked here. They're 4v5 on the map. Epic Fang still in base trying to clear out minions. Flash forward from Blue Eagle, finds his way onto 2 Troll. Now it's going to be a double kill coming out from Tango. Blue Eagle going to continue the push. Rhodey going to try to do some damage over the wall, but doesn't really have enough. Henry going to continue walking forward. Soul Shackle's going to come down, and Blue Eagle finishing it off, as it's going to be 4 kills coming here for the side of Zenigma Reapers. Teleport into the mid lane. It's going to be potentially looking for the base, potentially looking for the end, as Zilmi going to try to finish off the Infernal Soul as well. Blue Eagle pretty low here. Epic Fang going to take a laser to the face. The minion wave is gone for the moment, and the Baron buff still going to buff up the enemy minions that you got to deal with. So we'll see. Potentially going to be enough to hold on for now, but man, it's been such a good performance from the macro play of Zenigma Reapers so far today.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they have been playing very well. They've been able to take the macro, abuse the macro on them, and yeah, If they can definitely take out one or two more here, they'll definitely have the game.
I'm not sure exactly what the gold was at the start of the Baron buff that was gained by MyTourni Collective, but I feel pretty confident in saying that at this point it's a negative Baron power play.
Yeah, it really hasn't done much, just for the fact that they weren't able to really push and put that pressure since you had Zenigma putting the pressure on them.
Yeah. And the pressure is going to continue here shortly as Blue Eagle trying to usher the top wave in. Not going to push it all the way to tower. It already has 2 lanes of super minions, so if they can get the super minions synced up, then potentially going to be a situation where you don't even need another objective. Already Infernal Soul taken by Zenigma Reapers, so they have all the tools that they need to siege out the base. I don't know how much poke you've. I mean, Tango has big poke. I mean, that poke that could just kill someone from like 2 lasers coming out. Zilumi trying to start a fight here. Don't know if that's the call. Maybe just getting down some early damage before the real fight comes out. Top lane starting to be sieged out here. Not going to be a fight breaking out just yet. Good wave coming through. Tango going to usher the wave into the Nexus tower. So as the top lane is still being sieged out, this is a good 2 lanes of minions coming through. And now here's the engage. Zilumi going to try and find the way into the back line. Pressing guard already down. Tango going to find the first kill of the fight. Pop Blossom going to try to break it up, but 2 Troll 5U going to be hunted down. Kerbex as well. It's double kills coming through for both solo laners. It's a 5-0 ace, and that's going to do it. It's Enigma Reapers usher the waves into the Nexus towers once again. Zilumi going to execute himself, but meanwhile the rest of the squad will finish off the Nexus, and Zenigma Reapers 2-0 over MyTourni Collective.
Yeah, and in both games here, they kind of just had that commanding presence. They were able to use the macro and play it the way that they need to. They were also able to just do a lot here. I mean, think of it this way: you have a Zin that was 4, 8, and 12. It still beat out a 14, 4, and 5 Graves. Like, it's kind of crazy to think that happened. But
Yeah.
good use of split push both games.
Yeah, great use of the split push, and I think that what we saw today was a kind of a statement from Zenigma Reapers that they're the playoff team here. This locks them into playoffs. They're 3-3 right now, so they could even move up into the top bracket potentially, I believe, if the circumstances fall favorably for them going into week 7. But for MyTourni Collective, that puts them in a tough spot. Best case for them, I think, is that they have an outside chance of maybe making playoffs if everything goes right. But getting 2-0'd here, I think, actually eliminates them. I have to double check on this to make sure, but that's a tough out for MyTourni Collective because today I thought that they looked like they were team fighting well. They were doing some of the things right, but they were just getting outclassed in some of the solo lane situations, and it was really hard for them to overcome that.
Yeah, and since they weren't really able to overcome that, now that's always going to be a worry for uh, MTC because of the fact that MTC is trying to do their best, um, especially with the comps they've been drafting, which weren't bad. I think the problem is just fortunately, like the first one, you had a very heavy dive comp that came out of Zenigma that just worked really well because you have the magnet field, you have Rel going in, and making sure that not only are you interrupting the MF ult, but you're keeping her locked in there and everything like that. You have Leona, who I wish could have performed a little bit better that first game, but that's perfectly fine. I did like that we see a Nautilus the second game, being top like that. I think was just interesting. I knew unfortunately it didn't see as well, but it definitely was interesting to still see.
Yeah. Uh, on the other side though, I liked a lot of what I saw from Zenigma as a whole, but specifically I thought Tango played really well today. The Tryndamere was clean. I think 8-1 on the Tryndamere, and then 13-2 on the Victor. Just did so much damage at the beginning of fights that it was just impossible for the fight to progress anyway, other than the rest of the team pushing through and finishing off all the kills. So really good stuff from Tango, and also props to Blind Gwenmain for solid engages on the Rel and Rakan. So good stuff from Zenigma Reapers today, and hopefully I'll get to see another game of theirs in playoffs.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, they look like a team that pretty much can potentially take a game or two off of whoever they're going to be going against. I mean, I just look at, there's obviously a lot more people in the bracket that are really good. So I think the question is, can we see them knock out one of them, or are you going to see that a game is going to be taken off and then it's going to be a 2-1 game series? I think that's what we have to kind of
Any
look forward
final
to.
any final thoughts for us, Gigatron?
Uh, Other than congrats as Enigma, um, just want to see more of their macro play. I mean, hey, if they can keep using this, keep doing these rotates, very solid team.
All right. Well, congrats to Zenigma Reapers. I have been Tiger here with Gigatron and Wookie on the producing. Thank you everyone for joining us. Class dismissed.